Deandra. We're both Canucks fans, and tonight Dan Hamhuis gets concussed. Thoughts?
Terrible news for the Canucks. He leads the team tied with Bieksa, and I think he's a plus 29 or something like that. And he's definitely our most reliable defensive player, I think. Not so much, he won't be missed so much offensively, but that's pretty significant.
Do you think the Canucks can still win the Cup with... I mean, it's weird because the Canucks... No one like Luongo or Kessler or either of the Sedins have gone down this year, but they've lost Malhotra, their number one shutdown... maybe Kessler's still number one shutdown guy, I guess, but Malhotra is a massive shutdown player for the Canucks, and so is Hamhuis, and they've lost both of them. If this is long-term for Hamhuis, like it is for Malhotra, do you think the Canucks still have a shot?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think part of that depends on when Edler will be back. I have a lot of faith in him as one of our best D-men. So if he can come back healthy sometime early in the playoffs, then I'm not too worried.
Yeah, likewise, I guess. I thought that I'd take an opportunity now to talk a little about Deandra and I and what's happening with the show now. We have a Facebook page up in case you guys want to subscribe, and I'll be posting the episodes that'll come to your Facebook page daily. I'll toss a link to actually both the Hamhuis concussion. It was a weird event. It was a weird kind of collision. And I'll post a link to the Facebook page in the video description. And maybe Dee and I should talk a little bit about our hockey biases even. I'm wearing the 94 Canucks t-shirt right now, so, I've said this before that Deandra and I try and be as objective as we possibly can, but we are undeniably Canucks fans. So that's announced up front. And Deandra is... Actually, I'll let Deandra speak for herself. Go ahead.
I am what? I am...
Well,
I suppose I started really getting into hockey post-lockout, so I was a bit too young, I suppose, and didn't really follow much of the game. So post-lockout era is really where I've been started following the game from.
Yeah, I've been watching hockey pretty much all my life, and Deandra, as my little sister, as some of you may not know, she never really took up hockey big time with me in terms of watching it. But after post lockout, we watch and we follow it pretty much at the same level. She's just taken it extremely quickly. So I think it's kind of interesting because we have a different perspective on the game, and I guess I could be maybe viewed as something of a traditionalist, whereas she may be more new age or new school or something like that.
Okay, Anze Kopitar injured on the weekend. It was a weird collision. He ran into
the video is disgusting.
Yeah, it was like hitting him and a player colliding into the boards, and he just lands very awkwardly. So
yeah, you can see his full body weight just press his ankle down.
So out 6 weeks minimum at this rate with a broken ankle. How's it looking for the Kings now?
The Kings are in an interesting spot. I got smacked down for my comments on not being afraid of the Kings at all, and maybe rightly so. They have actually been playing pretty well lately. And they've actually kind of, from that massive logjam in the West, they've actually kind of separated themselves a little bit. They're like 4 points up or something like that. They've got a little bit of breathing room. And I think that at this time, for most King fans, the focus would be, okay, we're probably in. Can we beat Phoenix in the first round or a team like that? And now I think this whole Kopitar injury makes the discussion, okay, let's just try and still make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's huge. I think the loss of Kopitar, I mean, he plays like special teams, he's leading the team in scoring. The significant loss.
Yeah, he's only 23 years old too, which most people seem to forget. So he's still like a big star on the up and up, and LA places a lot of weight on him.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, I mean, who else can score goals for LA?
I think second in their scoring is Justin Williams, who's also out for the season. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mark Savard is reporting symptoms of memory loss from his concussion. Where does he go from here?
It's scary, that's for sure. I mean, with injuries like this, you don't really worry about your hockey career as so much as the rest of your life. I It's tough. I mean, we just saw like Malhotra injury, and I mean, all of his teammates aren't worried about his injury. They're worried about, I mean, how he's gonna be.
Yeah, just getting his vision back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savard, I mean, it just seems like this is retirement for him. Either that or taking at least a year off. And at least taking a big pillow of time after the doctors clear him if he ever even thinks about returning.
Well, I mean, he took basically a year off from the hit, or like the Cook hit on him last year, to come back this year, and it doesn't. It seems like things are worse than they were last year.
Yeah, I guess what I mean is, I actually don't know if he did this year, but I think that what happened this year is that pretty much doctors cleared him to play, and then after he got into physical shape, so like after 2 weeks or something, he was on the ice. I guess what I mean is that if he wants to come back to the NHL, he should wait until doctors clear him to play, and then wait like months afterwards, just to be sure that he's as physically capable as he can possibly be. If he even decides to come back, I honestly wouldn't be surprised at all to never see him play an NHL game again in his life.
I wouldn't either. I mean, things are more important. Some things are more important than hockey. So.
Joe Sakic joins the front office in Colorado, joining the likes of Yzerman and Lemieux and Gretzky that have made a foray into the business side of the NHL after illustrious careers. What do you think this means for Colorado?
I think it's definitely good for the organization. I mean, Sakic was a franchise player, and he's definitely loved by fans in the organization. So I think it's really great for them to have him back a part of that. And I think it's only going to be good things for them.
See, I take issue with that. And before everyone starts crapping on me for potentially crapping on Joe Sakic, I want to defend this. The only thing that I take issue with is the fact that you said that it can only be good for them. And I think that we might be a little starry in the eyed about guys like Sakic and Lemieux and Yzerman transitioning from playing hockey to being part of the organization of it. And I think that they're very different things. And Yzerman with Tampa at least had some experience with Team Canada and stuff like that. And Lemieux pretty much just came in as an owner, so he was really only supplying money. Gretzky was a massive failure in Phoenix. And you know what? I'm rooting for Sakic, but just the idea that a player that's amazing in their playing prime should then be handed a position of high authority. I think he's quite high up in the Colorado organization now. I think he represents them at the Board of Governors meetings and stuff like that. And this is nothing against Sakic. It's just the assumption that these guys will be incredible. I think that the best thing that Colorado has going for it here is that Matt Duchene's childhood idol is Joe Sakic. And if you want to keep one of the most highly rated, already incredible players in the game happy and keep him in Colorado, then it probably helps to have Joe there for sure. 2-on-1 every day. One of us comes up with 3 hockey items. 2 of them are true, and 1 of them is fake. And it's the job of the other to sniff out the fake. D'Andra, there's no theme this week, so I'll just jump right in.
Go ahead.
The currently 8th seeded Chicago Blackhawks have a goal differential of plus 35, which is second best in the entire Western Conference, only to first place Vancouver. Item number 2. The 7th seeded Nashville Predators have lost 6 straight, including 8 of their last 10. Item number 3. Corey Perry has scored 13 in his last 19 games, giving him the outright lead over Steven Stamkos.
Interesting. right off the bat, I think that Corey Perry has scored 13 goals in his last 9 games is true. I know he does have the lead over Steven Stamkos, so that wouldn't surprise me. So that leaves Chicago Blackhawks having a goal differential of plus 35. That wouldn't surprise me that they have the second best. I mean, they've got a lot of scores on their team and pretty good defense. So that leaves 7th seeded Nashville Predators have lost 6 straight. I watch a lot of hockey highlights, and for some reason I just don't think that they've lost 6 straight and still are in the playoffs with the pack being so close. So I'm going to say that the fake is the Nashville Predators.
You bitch.
I'm so smart.
That is correct. The other two are true. It's surprising that Chicago is second in goal differential in the West, ahead of Detroit, ahead of San Jose, and they're eighth seed in the West.
Yeah.
But the Nashville Predators are not 7th seeded. They are actually 6th seeded, and they've won 6 straight, including 8 wins in their last 10.
Oh, that was a pretty big lie then.
Yeah, it was a pretty big lie. I had to make it obvious. I didn't want to make it tricky, like, oh no, they've only lost 5 straight. Comment of the day was in response to, if you could be any NHL player, coach, owner for a day, who would you be and what would you do? And Habs fan Sublime19 writes, I'd be Scott Gomez and fake my own death.
That's awesome.
And game picks for the night, DeAndre, who do you have? There's only 2 games on the schedule tomorrow night.
Only 2 games, and it's difficult. You have Detroit versus Chicago and Anaheim versus Colorado. Chicago and Anaheim both fighting for playoff position, but I have to go Detroit versus Chicago, 2 star-studded teams, and Chicago is the 8th place team, so they need to win.
You know what? I'm going to watch the Colorado-Anaheim game and watch Corey Perry get a hat trick and continue his run for the Hart.
I don't blame you. I might watch that too.
Alright, later y'all.
Lates.
Hey guys, sorry about the audio again. My microphone has been really finicky. I think I might have a glitchy USB cord because it keeps on disconnecting. So I had to use the audio source from the camcorder again, but hopefully we'll have this all sorted out by next episode. And reminder to check the video link description for the Facebook page and the highlights that we talked about in the show.